I don't gamble. It's just something I never really got into. When I was young, my gambles were more the stupid things I would do that could have caused me great bodily harm. I chuckled when I heard somebody say this the other day, and it's probably especially true of young males, but he said, when you're young, fear minus death equals fun. Somewhere I think about my growing up years, and in the back of my brain, I can hear Clint Eastwood asking me, do you feel lucky today? And though I don't gamble, I understand that phrase, put your money where your mouth is. That's, okay, you say this is true? Show me how much you believe that. Put your money where your mouth is. I'll bet you. Evidently a very popular thing to do. Gambling is one of the fastest growing industries. This year, $500 billion with a B will be spent on gambling. In this country, 8% of our gross national product goes to family groceries and food. 6% goes to gambling. Now, for some, it's a harmless pastime. For some, it's dangerous. And for some, it's tragic. I understand the psychological principle that works on the addiction of gambling when it becomes that. It's called intermittent affirmation. It's the same process that works on golfers. Think about it. Every so often, you get it right. Man, I can do that again. And it tends to hook us. And sometimes with tragic consequences. Cities in which there is legalized gambling have a much higher suicide rate than those that don't. Now, we can certainly see the obvious stupidity of some forms of gambling. People who spend the money that was supposed to go to paying their family bills instead on casinos, horse races, or online betting. But there are other forms of betting that are stupid as well, I suppose, huh? Getting into the car when the driver is stoned or high. Having an affair and risking our family. Or the gamblers Jesus described in today's gospel, who bet their lives that they could live a selfish life without consequences. They believe that we can get away with being abusive and hateful and selfish, and somehow it won't cost us. Jesus suggests the exact opposite. But you know what? I said I don't gamble. When I heard today's second reading, I realized that I gamble too, actually. We all gamble. We just gamble on different things. In today's second reading, we heard the gamble that Abraham took. His gamble was that God would be true. He gambled that this God who had called him to leave behind the land he knew would be with him, even as God had promised. Abraham gambled on the goodness of God. And my brothers and sisters, that's where I want to gamble with my life. I want to gamble of anything, trusting that the invitation from God to live an authentic life is worth it, that it pays off, that it's good to forgive, that it's important to be honest, that it's noble to stay true, that there is a great blessing in following the way of this Jesus. Well, how about you? On what do you gamble? We're about to start a new school year. There are some parents who gamble that we don't have to go to church every Sunday or pray in the home but our kids will be okay. It's a gamble. There are others who gamble the opposite side of that and say, you know what? I'm not going to give my kids unlimited access to the mall, video games, TV programs, and we're going to pray together as a family. And I'm going to gamble on the fact that there will be good to come from that. On what do you gamble? We all gamble. It's just, where do you make your wager? Are you willing to hear? Not just hear, but when Jesus says, you walk with me and live this way, and I'll give you life. Not just after death, but life now. If you say that's the gamble you're willing to take, then you know what he says to us? Then put your money where your mouth is. I'll end with this story. There's a story told of a man who died after having lived a thoroughly selfish, immoral life. Moments later, he found himself in a world of bright sunlight, soft music, and figures clad in white robes. He said to himself, boy, I never expected this. I guess God's got a soft place in his heart for a rascal like me. So he turned to a figure in a white robe and he said, say, buddy, I got something to celebrate. How about I buy you a drink? The figure in the white robe said, well, if by that you mean an alcoholic beverage, we don't have those here. He said, oh, well, let's play a few little cards or something. Texas Hold'em, any game you want. He said, oh, no, we don't gamble here. He said, well, what do you do all day? He said, well, we pray the Psalms, listen to the stories of each other's lives, and pray for our loved ones who we've left behind on earth, and spend time in the presence of God. The guy said, that's what you do all day? He said, boy, heaven isn't cracked up all that I thought it'd be cracked up to be. And the figure in the white robe said, oh, I see that you don't understand. We're in heaven, you're in hell. And the story suggests that heaven is the blessing that's found in living a good and noble and holy life. And that hell is less fire and brimstone, storm, and more the realization of the beauty and goodness of day in, day out living, of knowing and being known that could have been mine, but I missed it. The blessings of what really matters was available to me, and I didn't see it until it was too late. That there is a life for us, not just beyond this life, but now. For those of us who are willing to say, I'll choose again and again to try to live the way of this man Jesus. He says it's worth it. And on that promise, I wager my life. So, Big Al, what are you doing? Cards. You're playing cards? Oh, that's fun. Want to play? All right, I'll play. How do we play? You pick? Okay. Highest wins, all right. You first, me first? Okay, I'll pick one. Let's see. I picked a king. Ha ha, that'd be tough to beat, huh? Watch, all right. Mine. I'll pick one for you. Okay, let's see what you got. Ace. I win. Okay. All right, you win. Did you cheat? A little. Okay, I hear you. So what? Again. Okay. Money. Oh, this time you want to put money on it. I've heard this type of invitation before. Well, Big Al, actually, I don't want to gamble on cards, but I've got a different gamble. Are you in? How much? 10 cents? 10 cents? No. more than that. 50. No, more than 50 cents. Dollar, more than that. $10. Nope. How much? Big Al, for this, I'm going to wager my life. Well, boys and girls, Big Al didn't let me finish, but I bet my life on Jesus. I believe in him so much, and that his way is the one way to live that would give life forever. And boys and girls, I don't want to gamble on anything else, but I'd gamble on him because I think he's so worth that gamble. Your life, yep, my life and yours. Oh, on what? On Jesus. Cool. I'll try. Bye. Yeah. And boys and girls, there's no one else and nothing else in the whole world worth that gamble.